Hi and welcome! Yes, I did it, which is why I might have to start this video with an apology. Because while normally I wouldn't consider myself a clickbait guy, this time I clearly went down this path because I'm obviously not stupid and won't mount a bike on a perfectly fine Piper. But I promise we will find out how to carry a bike on this plane and which one will work best for this purpose. But first things first, I'm with Pilot Linda today, yay!
Hey.
Some of you might know Pilot Linda from Instagram. She's quite popular in the German Instagram community and I'm super happy that she agreed to join me for this video today. Linda usually flies either this Piper there in the background or another one here out of Cologne. And Linda always has great content on her Instagram feed, so make sure to follow her on Instagram under the name Pilot Linda. I will of course link it down there in the video description.
Hi, thank you, Simon. Now let's go to the question you might be asking by now, especially if you're watching this in the US. Why on earth would you want to carry your bike on a small general aviation airplane? Why would you not just take the FBOs courtesy car or a rental car or maybe an Uber?
The thing is, we are presently here at Linda's home base in the greater Cologne area, as I said, and by European GAA standards this aerodrome is already pretty big. However, most of them are rather small. Some, like my home base in Switzerland, are nothing more than a grass strip and a hangar maybe. This means that the chances of finding a rental car company or an FBO or even an Uber are pretty small. And even calling a taxi might be a bad idea because the taxi driver will most likely never have heard of this aerodrome you're talking about and not show up after all. So if you give him another call, he'll inform you he's waiting in front of Terminal 2, which is when you realize he's been traveling to pick you up at the nearest international airport.
So this is where the entire idea with the bikes comes into play. For those last kilometers from the airport into town, the bicycles or a similar small vehicle can come in very handy. Now, on most general aviation airplanes, regular bicycles will not fit or you will have to dismantle them entirely, which is not really practical either. So, this is why we arranged 4 different types of folding bikes or scooters that might work for our intended purpose. In this video, we shall find out which is the best for flying. So guys, let's going! Let us first give you a small overview about a selection of vehicles that we have for you. Let's start with this. This is a Gocycle GS, a high-end foldable e-bike.
And then there is this Brompton Electric, another foldable e-bike but with an entirely different design philosophy.
This here is my own scooter. It's a 9-watt Eco 22 Delta electric kick scooter.
And finally here we have a Scuddy, which is another scooter, but in many ways entirely different than Linda's scooter over there.
Now time to look at each of them a little closer. Let me first show you my electric scooter here. It is pretty standard these days and in many ways comparable to those scooters you see standing or lying around in the bigger cities. It comes with a fixed battery in the stem and electric motor driving the front wheel, has a range of about 22 kilometers, weighs around 13 kilos and costs between 300 and 400 euros, which means it is by far distance the cheapest of the lot. The stem can be folded down like this, which means the whole thing is still rather long. Let me show you. Because of the length of the Segway, it will only fit diagonally across the Piper's baggage area, as you can see.
Now, this here is the Brompton Electric, and if you've never heard of this company, Brompton folding bikes are true classics. Their name stands for the quintessential folding bike. Brompton is a British company that makes these folding bikes since 1975, and to this day their bikes, including the steel frame, are handmade in London. Traditionally their bikes do not come with an electric motor. This, however, is the relatively new Brompton Electric. Still, their other non-electric bikes basically look the same. This bike has 4 gears, it has front and rear brakes here. That electric drivetrain consists of the 250 watt motor and a detachable battery which is integrated into this bag here. It comes with a capacity of 300 watt-hours. With a battery included, the bike weighs 15 to 16 kilograms depending on the configuration. It costs a whopping 3,500 to 4,200 euros, which means you could buy 10 of Linda's scooters for the price of one of these. But the clever thing about this is the folding concept. The world record for folding a Brompton is apparently a little under 5 seconds. The average user will take about 20 seconds to do it. Let me demonstrate it for you real quick here. The first thing you do is you detach the entire rear axle and place the bike on it, which is kind of also the stand this bike comes with. Then afterwards you slowly but surely screw this connection here, unscrew this connection here, and then these go together. Now that's where you... Okay, as you can see, this was the first time I tried this myself after watching some tutorials, and it took me a second to realize how to detach the battery back here. Once this is done, you simply unscrew the hinge clamp at the handlebar and let this drop into position. Then all that remains to do is to lower the seat post, and finally you could also fold the pedal over to further reduce the width of the folded package. To unfold the bike, you simply repeat the steps in the reverse order. The Brompton will fit nicely into our Warrior here and leave more space for additional baggage or a second bike.
Now, time to take a closer look at the Gocycle GS. This version of the Gocycle is no longer in production. However, the basic concept and design of these hasn't changed much. At the first glance, you can see it looks a little more futuristic than that Brompton. In here, everything is fully enclosed. No loose cables or wires, even the chain is fully enclosed, which means you and your plane won't get greasy if you load it. The frame is made from aluminium, lightweight magnesium and carbon fiber. The battery is enclosed in the frame but can be removed relatively easily on the newer models of the Gocycle. Same as for the Brompton, the pedal assist motor drives the front wheel but puts out 500 watts, so it is twice as powerful compared to the Brompton and definitely more seamlessly integrated. You wouldn't think this was a motor at the first glance. The replacement models for the GS are called G4 and G4i and cost between 3,000 and 5,000 euros depending on the configuration and on whether you find a good deal. Folding this earlier Gocycle GS is more of a disassembly than a folding process. Jürgen, the owner of this, was kind enough to demonstrate the disassembly, which includes the removal of the fenders and the so-called pit stop wheels. The rear axle can be folded forwards and the stem tilted sideways. This entire process takes about 2 minutes. There's also a bag which can accommodate all the pieces. Once completed, the parts fit nicely into the Piper with room to spare for more stuff. The philosophy on the newer models is different as these fold in the middle of the frame. On the upside, this means you'll be quicker. The downside is that the folded package will be bulkier.
And last but not least, here's our fourth vehicle in today's lineup. This is called the Scuddy Premium. This is version 1 of those Scuddys. In the meantime, version 2 is out there on the market. I'll admit it looks a little weird, but apparently it's a huge fun to ride and can be folded to a pretty compact package. Technically this is an electric scooter, but it also comes with a detachable seat post and a saddle so you can sit down on longer trips. The Scuddy is a German product. These scooters are being produced in Kiel in northern Germany. They're available in the 25 and the 45 kph version. And like all the others, the Scuddy is road legal here in Germany, even in the 45 kph version. With its 1500 watt rear wheel motor, the Scuddy is by far the most powerful electric vehicle we are testing today. The battery comes with 480 watt hours. It is integrated in that green segment there, which can be removed. The Scuddy is not only the most powerful, but also the heaviest of our competitors. It weighs 27 kilograms. That's a lot of weight, especially in the world of general aviation. The Scuddy Premium in version 2 costs 4,300 euros, which isn't exactly cheap either. For such a heavy thing, the scooter folds down to a pretty compact size, which we'll be demonstrating now for you. From an engineering perspective, the folding mechanism of this Scuddy Premium is very clever, as you can see in this clip. In this version 1 of the device, the reality is a little different. Some of the hinges are a bit notchy, and especially the heavier weight makes the handling a little more difficult. But with some practice, this can easily be done in less than a minute for sure. Plus, version 2 provides a number of upgrades, for example regarding the clamps and the hinges, but also to a number of other parts. The Scuddy will take up most of the baggage space in the plane here, and loading 2 of these into a typical GA aircraft seems unrealistic. But you could still put some stuff on top, of course. Now finally time to go for some test rides. Now, what I can tell is that riding these scooters is actually quite a lot of fun. If you've never ridden one, you might have the chance to test one in any of the cities that you live around. The big advantage of this is obviously not only the fun you have riding it, but the price. I mean, this is by far the cheapest of the lot, so I think if you're on a tight budget, this is definitely the best option for you.
If you're looking for even more fun, the Scuddy is your best choice. With its 2 front wheels, you're carving the turns and leaning into the turns with your whole body. It takes some getting used to at the beginning, but is huge fun. Thanks to its powerful motor, the acceleration is amazing. This is more than a toy. Especially in the faster versions, the Scuddy is a serious mobility device that works for longer distances up to 50 kilometers, thanks to its huge 1040 Wh battery.
When riding the Gocycle, you find out quickly that it features more than just good design. It's like riding a regular pedal assist bike actually, with its 20-inch, relatively big 20-inch wheels. The hub motor kicks in really quickly, so it's just a great riding experience, and I've ridden quite a lot of e-bikes before. So last but not least, the Brompton, on which Linda and I had a go on afterwards. You can feel its drivetrain doesn't provide the same kind of support as the one in the Gocycle. I was especially curious to find out how the tiny 16-inch wheels would affect the handling. So what I can say that after my test ride here is that the Brompton, despite the small wheels and the weird design, feels astonishingly like riding a regular bike. So I think I'm really a fan of the Brompton. Before jumping to our conclusion, it's time to discuss one topic that needs to be mentioned, which is the question if you really want to carry those high energy batteries on your GA airplane. I need to mention that taking along e-bike batteries on a commercial flight is usually forbidden. In our non-commercial environment, it's up to you as the pilot in command to do your personal risk assessment. I think I'd take the risk of carrying one of those on a day VFR flight where an immediate landing is possible at all times, and as long as the battery is removed from the device and monitored by me or anybody else on the plane. Carrying a scooter with its non-removable batteries on a flight under IFR or at night is, however, a risk I surely wouldn't want to take. Anything in between those two examples is a bit of a grey area, I guess. Let me know what you think on this topic in the comments as well. Finally, here are the specs and the main pros and cons of each of the vehicles. While you can go through those, I want to say thank you to Linda and especially to Jürgen, Hildegard and Paul for lending us their expensive vehicles. Jürgen and Hildegard spent the entire afternoon for this video shoot with us. They are a great example of how the GA family in Europe is so amazing and helpful, so thank you guys. All right, guys, the sun here in Cologne is about to set, and it's time for a little conclusion. Linda, which bike or which vehicle would you use for the ride into town now if you didn't have the car here?
Oh, honestly, I must say the Brompton is my absolute favorite one because it's very small, foldable. The kind of a bicycle is very nice, I guess. I love my electro scooter, but this is a little bit nicer for some trips here.
I must say I really like the design of this Gocycle. It's so clean. It's pretty handy. It looks awesome, but folding the bike takes a lot longer than folding the Brompton. So I think we might either have to share the Brompton or one has to work, because that's my favorite too.
Yes. That's really... But to be fair, the Scuddy is the best choice if you want to go very quick. It has 30 km/h here in Germany, we say. What's in English?
kph.
kph.
Yeah. Yes.
And yeah, the electro scooter from me is the cheapest one. So, but like Simon said, this one...
The Brompton is our favorite.
Is the favorite one.
Now I'm really curious to read your opinion about this video, which has been a little off topic, I'll admit. But still, which of those four would you choose? Maybe there's other options on the market. Let me know if you have a good idea from a possible future review. Thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. Thanks, Linda, for joining me for this video. It's been a pleasure to work with you today. And as always, many happy landings out there.
Thank you from me too, and let's go on a ride again.